And every time I have to say, well, they don't know what to do about not enough money, but I know what to do about not enough money. We can try this model, this model, this model, this model. Matter of fact, if you look at my registration, I put down banking systems engineer as my profession because I've spent the last 40 years advocating for upgrading the Bank of Canada's computer software. You understand? This is not something hard. It's the switch of a disk. It's a software upgrade. You've all seen Mr. Spock do it umpteen times on Star Trek. Save a whole planet. He didn't make me help from the slows. He did it alone. Well, that's what the world is like now. I just got to get there with my monkey, slide the Let's disk over to the
Thank you, John.
It works.
I'm now asking candidates to prepare for their closing statements. They will close in the same order in which they open. So I'd like to invite Mary Jane McFall to give us your 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you very much, Pat. Well, it's been a remarkable evening. It's been great to have the opportunity to stand here before all of you and tell you about my priorities for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, and Rideau Lakes. My priorities are your priorities. As I've told you already, I have this community in my heart. I've lived, worked, and volunteered here. Ian and I raised our children here, and this has been our world for pretty much my whole life. Went away to school and a couple of years in Toronto, but what going away teaches you is the value and the importance of the community that you live in right here. We came home to raise our kids here, and I'm very proud to say that we did that. So, in 2015, when all was said and done, and Gord Brown, and our hearts go out to his family of the loss of Gord. When Gord Brown beat me in 2015, I got a note from someone I didn't know, and he said, Mary Jean, you started a movement, and you have to keep going. And he didn't explain what the movement was, but I stopped and thought about it a lot myself over the last, several years. And what I believe the movement is for real progressive change. A new voice, a new way of looking at ourselves here in Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, and Rideau Lakes. A way of looking at ourselves that includes the compassionate voice that I think that we all believe we need to take to Ottawa or to any level of government in which we are active, but also that practical voice that says we know we have to create the jobs, we know we want the prosperity, we want to be able to depend on ourselves, and our government is there to give us a hand up, not a hand out. So as your next Member of Parliament, it would be my honour to take that philosophy, that way of looking at the world, to Ottawa, and perhaps beyond to all of Canada. And so on December 3rd, I am asking for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Our next speaker is Michelle. Would you please give us your 2-minute closing statement?
Thank you, and I want to thank you again for having me here this evening, and to all who came out to engage on these important topics. This by-election is a great opportunity to take a hard look at the track record of those in power and to closely examine the results. Again, we have our tax dollars being blindly thrown at corporations without any protection for our investment. Anyone with a shred of business sense would know better than that. We have the two other main parties so deeply committed to their rich friends that they smile and look the other way on tax loopholes while making sure that you and I are forced to toe the line. Enough is enough. There is a better path forward, and I stand for the fairness and investment that small businesses deserve. I am about great opportunities and a strong economy. I am about stable, well-paying jobs and workers' rights. I'm about ensuring that no one gets away with defrauding our country because they padded the right pocket. With your vote, I will bring strong advocacy and commitment to conscience to the House of Commons. This coming Monday, please go out and vote for someone who is genuinely passionate about helping everyone in our society to reach their full potential. I am not beholden to any large donors, and I have no hidden agendas. I am in this to bring the prosperity that I know is within reach to our riding and all all of Canada. In this election and in the future, please think about your priorities and which candidate best represents them. Don't just vote by color or habit. Make each of us up here really earn your support. Parties, leaders, and policies change. Every election is a chance to re-examine what's on the table. I hope that investigation leads you to mark my name on your ballot, and I look forward to bringing strong representation to our riding on December 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Michael, can I please ask you to deliver your closing comments?
Thank you again for hosting this evening. Thanks to the Arbitrarian, to the other candidates for participating in a civil exchange of ideas, and for all of you for coming out. So, I spent the last 4 years looking to create jobs, and I'm very proud of the team, being part of a team that was able to create hundreds of jobs. And I think that's so important. If we want to encourage young people to stay here, if we want to encourage people to move here, we need to have great jobs. And we need to have great infrastructure and great services available to those people. We also need to have a government that's willing to set the example, just like municipalities aren't able to deficit budget. We should expect that a federal government doesn't only budget in deficit for the totality of their mandate and beyond, and project it into the 2040s by their own accountability office. I served with the men and women in the Canadian Forces because I love our country. And I served on municipal council because I love my community. And I served as the Riding Association president for our Member of Parliament because I'm a principled conservative. And I knew that I had a lot to learn from someone who had our community's best interest at heart. I learned a lot from Gord Brown, and our community benefited from his service. I would be honored to continue that legacy of service, that legacy of advocacy, and to be your representative in Ottawa, to take the message from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, and Rideau Lakes back to the House of Commons. On December 3rd, I'm asking for you to vote for Michael Barrett. I'm asking you to vote for the Conservative Party of Canada, and I thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you, Michael. Lorraine, your 2-minute closing statement, please, okay?
I would like to thank you all for your attention. I'd like to thank you all for listening to me. I hope that you found me smart, intelligent, entertaining, and kind. I just want to tell you that I am courageous. I want to tell you that this is a by-election, that we're all going to be here again in 2019. This is a litmus test. I have been encouraging voters to vote Green in this by-election, and I propose that it's a sort of no-risk guarantee. You know, if you don't like me, you can throw me back next year. But it is a by-election. It is an opportunity that Canadians have, or that you have in this riding specifically, to send a message to Ottawa. To send the message that you think climate change is important. Because that's why I'm here. My grandchildren picked this riding. My husband and I moved here almost 20 years ago. We started a business. Our grandchildren are born here. This is our home. This is our community. And like any good nester, you like to make your community vibrant. You like to make it safe and secure so that your children have a good place to grow up. I have adopted Leeds Grenville. I came here. And I am here because I care. I care about you. Like all of the candidates on the ballot, we are offering ourselves up to be at your service. We are offering ourselves up as helpers. And on December 3rd, I hope you remember that, and I hope you consider me as a candidate, and that you would put an X beside my name. Miigwech.
Thank you, Lorraine. John, I now invite you to make your 2-minute closing statement.
Well, I'm not really offering myself up. I'm offering up my software. back in the Sheila Copps by-election in 1996 with this headline, "Super Loser Fails Again." I kept saying, I don't need to get elected, I just need one person with a brain to go pick up the software and do it yourselves. Now, no candidate has ever caught on. No opposing candidate ever caught on. But exactly 1 month after that insulting headline, Hamilton Self-Help Group starts up Hamilton Lead System. Mission accomplished. So I did create some employment in Hamilton, even if I didn't get elected. Now, everything I've said tonight, I'm willing to bet on. Okay? I'm willing to bet anybody that it's not warmer now than when Greenland was green. Anybody want to make a $100 bet that it's warmer now than when Greenland was green? Of course not. Yet they still keep spouting the lie. And I'm not happy about that. And I'm insulted when I point out that I got a science degree, 100% in physics, and I don't see no warming. And they still see we got to pay a carbon tax. You pay the carbon tax. I'm not interested. Now, you can Google for Great Canadian Gambler. I come up. And if you ever saw the movie Rounders with Matt Damon, every card game's got its guy they call a professor. Well, I was called the professor at the Trump Taj Mahal in the Rounders movie because I was the great white shark took the biggest bites out of your bankroll when you went up against me. So, they are going to rape your kids with high interest rates. It's coming, don't you feel it? And isn't it like the 1980s? Remember the big layoffs, 10,000 at a time? We lived through that. It's happening again to your kids, your grandchildren, as it happened to you. And guess what? I think you all deserve it.
Thank you, John. We're now finished the formal part of our evening. We've had excellent food for thought from each candidate, and I know that our audience here is better informed for the difficult choices that are before each of us as we go to the voting booth this Monday. We've been taping this meeting. Where's Dale? Yay. There's Dale. So the camera guy has been diligently taping this meeting. We're hoping to get that up on our Chamber website as soon as possible. And so please remember to get out to vote on December 3rd. If you need help with anything, contact Elections Canada or any of our local campaign offices. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.